Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good evening. I am Muhammad Alif ANUAR and I think the biggest teenager problem with the parent is communication. Some teenagers cannot communicate with their parents because they don't want to get unnecessary lecture and get mad. Some teenagers just want to make joke with their parents, but the parents take it seriously and will give them some unnecessary lecture, and some of them will get angry. Lack of communication is the most significant issue during this period. Many parents find their children or teenager moody or disagreeing and rude. Parents often tend to intrude their teenager privacy, like they always go in their room without their consent and disturb them. Teenagers often get upset by such behavior and tend to become more rebellious. Teenagers also cannot share their idea or opinion to parents because some parents will fight their opinions and force the teenager to accept their opinion. It makes the teenager cannot expose their idea and cannot be standing on their own. The teenagers don't want to share their problem too because the parents is being too judgmental and don't help the teenagers to solve the problem. Some of the teenagers get depression because they don't get the support but get judged from their family. That's all my point.
Thank you, Alif. Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Muhammad SHAKEEL SAIDI. So I agree with your opinion about communication problem, but I think one one bigger problem, and it is media and technology. So it is undeniable that technology can bring advancement for teenagers to educate themselves with much information, but media and technology also has its own negative side that may cause a problem for them. So according to a research from the Pew Internet and American Life Project, 95% of teenagers have cell phones and 45% say that they are online for 24 hours. So they are always in social media like Instagram and Twitter or play some video games. They will spend more time on media and technology because they will feel help. They will feel happy and more enjoy rather than spending their time with parents. So this addiction to social media and video games will bring bad influence to the teenager. The teenager will become antisocial if they don't overcome this problem. The relationship between parents and teenagers will also become deteriorated in result of teenagers being isolated from their parents. So, excessive use of technology can affect mentally and emotionally if they don't control their screen time. So, and more time will be wasted too. So in conclusion, technology is increasingly becoming an essential part of our lives. Although some parents don't care much enough about their children because they think teenagers can already take care of themselves. So this is might be the biggest problem for teenagers with their parents.
Assalamualaikum. My name Muhammad HAZIQ bin HASBULLAH. For me, the biggest teenage problem with parents is alcoholism and drugs. People who drink regularly have a higher rate of death from injury, violence, and some cancer, while drug addiction has emerged as one of the major social problems in most of the developed and developing countries. The reason why I say that is the teenagers who involve they can hit, kill or blackmail them. They do it because they want money to buy alcohol and drugs. If teenagers do not have money to buy alcohol or drugs, they will start lending money to debtors. Since teenagers do not work and do not earn income, they cannot repay their debts. So the debtor will find his parent to repay the debt. If the parents cannot repay the debt, the debtor will take their property. Young people who like to consume alcohol and drugs are constantly daydreaming. Worse, they always behave aggressively. For example, they may jump off the roof of a building, run in the middle of the street, and hurt other people. If that happens, their parents will be blamed and possibly sued. For me, there are some guide for parents to avoid their teenagers to get alcohol and drugs. For me, the parents have to talk with teenagers and adolescents early and often about your concern and those of others about alcohol in a developmentally appropriate way. Young people who know their parents' opinions about teen drinking will be more likely to adhere to their expectation. The second one, set the guidelines early and be consistent in setting expectations and enforcing rules. Teens believe parents should have a say in decisions about alcohol use, and they will respect parental authority as long as they feel the message is legitimate. Consistency is central to legitimacy. The third one, work with other parents to monitor where your children are and what they are doing there. Involvement in young people's lives is key of their safety. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, HAZIQ. My name is Abdullah MUHSIN bin ROZHAN, and my point for the biggest teenage problems with parents is money and allowance. The teenager doesn't feel enough with the money that parents give them. It is because the teenagers need more money to be able to enjoy it with their friends. Teenagers always found not working or not having a job because their responsibilities in their age is to study for their own benefit and later graduate to get a better job. So their parents are the one who need to give them the money whether it is a need or it is what they want. Most of the time, teenagers fight with their parents is because they want the money to enjoy themselves with their friends because the so-called young blood and their parents doesn't always agree with what they want. When teenagers going to college, some teenagers got their allowance and they want to keep the money and only use it when they are in need only. This is why I think money and allowance is the biggest teenage problem. Uh, Biggest teenage problem with parents. Thank you.
So in my opinion, I think communication is the biggest problem for teenagers with parents because communication is how teenagers and parents interact. Should they interact negatively, it will increase tension.
Yes, I agree with you because the uh, communication is one of the most important thing in relationship between parents and their children. So I think communication is the biggest teenage problems with their parents.
I agree with both of you, and because, in my opinion, some teenagers are unable to interact with their parents because they don't want to be lectured or become enraged. During this time, the most serious problem is a lack of communication. Uh, Lastly, teenagers are also unable to discuss their ideas or opinions with their parents due to the fact that some parents are close-minded. Okay, thank you.
Okay, after here off the point, I think Shakeel is relevant because media and technology can connect us with people from far away, but and our friends. So like our discussion come to end, and we all agree that the communication is the biggest problem teenager with their family. So that's all from us. Bye.